Hey, welcome back to Mocktails with Marina. I'm your host, Marina, and I am so excited you're here today. This one's for my non-alc founders, my bottle shop rebels, and my kava bar bosses, and anyone else trying to make a name in a world that's still stuck in the drunk default. Today's episode is called The Drunk Monopoly because that's exactly what it is. So we're talking about how the world is rigged for alcohol, but how we can still win anyway. So let's get right into it. Quite frankly, the system simply wasn't built for you. If you feel like you're constantly fighting uphill just to get your non-alc product on a shelf, or to get taken seriously at events, or to raise funding, you're not imagining it. The system was literally built by and for alcohol companies. They have decades of legislation written in their favor. They have multi-billion-dollar marketing budgets. That's billion with a B. They have distribution monopolies. They own so much of the funnel from the moment that the ingredients come up out of the ground or wherever they come from, and then get turned into the drink and get sent to the stores and then put into your hands. They also have emotional real estate in the public psyche. And luckily, as the recording of this episode in 2025, the tables are turning, but we're kind of seeing some crazy stuff happening right now. Like, you're over here bootstrapping your dream, maybe working a day job and trying to create something that doesn't require people to compromise their health, their faith, their values, or anything with their safety just to have a good time, right? You're not an underdog. You're a disruptor. And that disruption always starts messy. We are in a very messy moment in history. We're watching, as of this recording of this episode, I am having so many threads to follow, it's almost difficult to keep up when it comes to legislation behind many of the functional ingredients that many of us love and adore inside of the non-alc shops, right? We're seeing kava, kratom, all the hemp-derived cannabinoids. We're seeing even other functional ingredients for some health departments that aren't aware of some herbs that have been around for like millennia. We even see them questioning those choices. So all of this is happening because the monopolies. Let me explain. So when there was a very tiny non-alc movement, I'm talking even pre-2019, kava bars opening in 2002 in Florida. They quietly grew overnight in Florida and then slowly started entering other places around the country. When it's the first kava bar or the first general non-alc space in the area, for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of issues. It's the moment that this momentum is building, and now we're seeing the reports where originally they were saying, okay, well, non-alc is projected to, beat alcohol, and it's projected to do these things. No, we are at the point where the tipping point has occurred. Big alc is losing so much money so quickly to these sales, and they don't have any control over the system because we're building this on an independent level. This is the front lines right now. It's not supposed to be easy. In fact, if anything, this is a battle cry. This is, hey, I'm telling you up front, this is not the easiest industry to make a lot of money. You absolutely and 100% can, without a doubt, especially if you join our programs. We are happy to help you with all of the details in every nook and cranny of your business. But point of this is much more than just making money, right? And this is us being here for, like we mentioned, the health, faith, values, and safety of our communities. And this is something that alcohol has never cared about, right? So we have disrupted a very massive monster. And one of my favorite quotes is, "That's the sound of dinosaurs dying." Anytime it feels like the table's being flipped, it seems like maybe things were going fine for you, but now you're seeing this legislation, now you're seeing things are scary, do not be afraid. This is the moment where you need to stand up, face those fears, and move forward, because if you don't, who else is going to protect your community? If you're not showing up to those city council meetings or city state Senate hearings, if you're not showing up and advocating for the public, if you're not doing the thing when you know better, that is a shame. And I'm not here to try to shame anyone. I think it's a shame. I think it is a waste of just, I don't want to say a waste of life, but I do. And I want to be so honest with you guys, because if you have this calling in your heart, and in your heart, you're like, this is what I need to do. I dream about it all the time, even though I'm scared. I have no money. I have no understanding. Or maybe you already have a non-alc establishment, whether it's products, services, whatever, and you're struggling and you're like, I'm already in this and I don't see the way out. Again, this is where we rise together, we band together, and the beauty of being in this independent movement, by independent, I mean all these small business owners, not all these chains, and even the chains that are out there, there's no one with 100 stores out there in this industry right now. Like, yes, there's like Total Wine that has some small non-alc section, but that's not what we're talking about here, right? So just know, yes, the system wasn't built for you, but we can disrupt it and rebuild it together. So let's talk about why non-alc brands specifically get shut out and why these monopolies aren't being like the most accommodating for letting everybody in, right? Number one, shelf space is pay to play. And in many stores, those deals are already locked in with long-term contracts with alcohol brands. So legally, they're kind of stuck, right? Also, distributors don't prioritize non-alc unless it's a brand that they already trust, or unless you're backed by some serious money. And that's just going to take time. We have some grassroots brands that have gone through different series of funding, and now they're getting to those multi-millions. But until they hit those multi-billions, that's where these contracts really start to hold less weight, so you can kind of push into them because you have the money backing you. And again, I don't want anybody to feel like money is this thing that is the root of all evil, because if you believe it, money will be allergic to you and you will never make it. Money is simply an energy and a currency that you use to bring your vision, your mission to life, to fruition, right? So just understand that there's a lot of people out there that are going to be a naysayer. They need to see that proof, whether it's in the funding or in the social proof. So what that means is there are a lot of buyers and investors and people out there with money who don't understand that non-alc is a movement. Even though we see these reports, we see these statistics, there is a little bit of education that needs to happen. And it sucks because, I've had conversations with multi-million-dollar investors who wanted to start stuff with us, and we ended up passing because the alignment wasn't there on understanding why this makes so much money. Because if you're just looking at turning this into like the sanitized movement without the community built into your business model, then it's gonna fall flat. And quite honestly, that's where snake oil kind of starts being the marketing thing, where it devalues the entire industry. Because, when we're selling more expensive drinks at bars and bottle shops, it's because you're not just buying the bottle, right? You're not just buying the drink, but you're buying the experience, the vibe. Maybe you're renting a seat in a lounge or cafe, right? You're spending time there because you're, using the Wi-Fi, hanging out, attending an event. There's more that you're paying for in that. And when other people devalue and sanitize this entire experience, that is where the buyers need help understanding what's going on. Because if they don't see the value in that special uniqueness of serving of your community and what makes your community special, then quite frankly, they'll walk away. Or worse, they'll try to do it in their understanding and then cause problems in the entire industry. So, there's a lot of reasons that these non-alc brands get shut out, and it's not always pretty or fun to talk about. And quite frankly, I'm sure some of these things I'm saying might kind of startle you a little bit, in the sense that it's like, you'd think it would be logical reasons, right? But in reality, I'm just shocked with the personalities that we've met throughout this whole process. blessed with the beautiful ones, right? But major learning lessons with the ones that are prickly. And don't even get me started on event planning and bar menus where alcohol is the default and non-alc is an afterthought. That is one of those more difficult sales pitches that, again, quite frankly, is up to bottle shops that want to help distribute in their area, right? If you're doing any B2B sales, you're the ones that are typically doing the education for these owners, therefore potentially doing, if you're smart, you'd be doing the training for the bartenders as well, so that they know how to sell your product, so that your product is selling well, so that they invite you back season after season to develop a seasonal non-alc menu. That's the best way to get recurring revenue, just as an example. So there is a lot of effort that needs to go into this, right? So it's not just about capitalism. Quite frankly, it is about comfort zones. We are disrupting a human pattern of generations, like hundreds, thousands of years of us drinking alcohol. Like, this is an insane moment we're in, like insane, not just for our generation, not even just for the past 10 generations, but like in humanity. People are simply comfortable selling what they know sells, even if it harms communities. So we have to be the front line of that movement, right? The thing is, big alcohol is watching, and they are buying in. Like, they are not ignoring us. A lot of major non-alc brands that people love are secretly owned or funded by the same companies selling vodka, tequila, and hard seltzer. And this is because they do see the shift. They know Gen Z and millennials are cutting back. They're just making sure they own the alternatives too. So here's the deal. You're not just building a product, you're protecting the soul of the movement by putting all of your heart and love into it, right? You're giving people choices that don't come from the same companies that profited off of their addictions, because they're just going to create a soulless non-alc version of whatever that doesn't have a personality, that still attaches people's identity to something that isn't the most intentional wellness leading thing, right? So like, let's zoom out, right? Like, let's talk about the psychology of drinking culture. Alcohol is usually sold as a reward, a ritual, a rite of passage, a social lubricant. So if you want your non-alc brand to compete, you need to tap into those same emotional triggers, but with soul, right? So what is your drink the symbol of? Is it confidence, celebration, belonging? This isn't about pretending that your adaptogen spritz is just like a margarita. That's what all the alcohol companies are doing, right? It's about understanding what people actually crave and give them that feeling, not just a mimicked analog taste of it, right? Give them the feeling without alcohol. So how do you win? Here's how you win when the game is rigged. Know the rules better than they do, right? So you need to do your homework, study, understand distribution, your margins, marketing psychology, shelf placement, consumer behavior. Again, this is stuff that I teach inside of Bula Boss all day, every day. There's so many lessons, and we talk about it in all the live calls too. We are here to help you understand those rules. You also want to find allies, collaborate with others in the space, share data, trade contracts, build coalitions. We are a part of multiple coalitions, and we are happy to help you understand how to join them as well. Market like you're already a legacy brand, right? Stop playing small. Stop acting like a trend. You are the future, period, and of this industry, right? Just like we mentioned in a previous episode, design emotional experiences. People do not remember ingredients, right? That's your edge. Your heart is your leverage. Use it, right? The industry doesn't want you to win, but you can. You are not imagining the friction, right? The rules were written without you in mind. But every time you launch a brand or open a shop or throw an event or just keep showing up, you are actively rewriting those societal rules. And if you want help doing that, again, that's what Bula Boss is for. We're not just starting businesses. We're taking up space in a system that's never welcomed us. We're building empires out of tea leaves, roots, and resilience. So the Bula Boss program is officially open, and if you're ready to stop waiting for permission or you just want to start breaking the rules in your favor, this is your time. You can go ahead and take a look at the links in the description. Go ahead and head out to marinamars.com/bulaboss or send me an email, hello@marinamars.com, if you have any questions. If this episode lit a fire under you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and join the movement. And just remember, you don't need to make a scene. You just need a vision. As always, if you need anything, just let me know.